Hello, you. I'm on here to share about bragging on the in hip hop, bragging on the hood life in hip hop. I'm on here to share what the Bible says about it. Bragging on the hood life in hip hop lyrics. The hood life, the hood life is bragged a lot about in hip hop. Then they turn around and try to justify. So that's what I'm on here to share about bragging on the hood life in hip hop. Bragging on the hood life. The hood life, bragging on the hood life, the ghetto, bragging on that. They brag on that. So bragging on the hood life in hip hop leads to heartbreak. That's how a lot of rappers make record sales. Okay, by bragging on the hood life, bragging on doing wrong. And a lot of young men think that stuff is cool, but it's not. Bragging on the hood life in hip hop. It's not about freedom of speech. It's not about that. Bragging on the hood life. That's why a lot of these young men are acting like they're acting because of those lyrics. They listen to those lyrics. Proverbs 14:12. There is a way of life that looks harmless. It looks harmless. Look again, it leads straight to hell. Surely people appear to be having a good time, but all the laughter will end in heartbreak. All the laughter is going to end in heartbreak. It will end in heartbreak. Bragging on the hood life in hip hop will lead to heartbreak. It doesn't it doesn't change anything. And a lot of people say, oh, it's just music. No, it ain't about no music. It's not about music. It's not about that. And a lot of people have been brainwashed by those lyrics. People are being brainwashed by those lyrics. Bragging on the hood life in hip hop leads to heartbreak. It leads to heartbreak. But a lot of people have got used to listening to lyrics that glorify doing wrong. It's not about no entertainment. It's not about no hip hop. It's about brainwashing people. People are being brainwashed by these lyrics. Bragging on the hood life in hip hop, it leads to heartbreak. There is a way of life that looks harmless. A lot of young men, a lot of young men and women are in love with these lyrics. People are in love with these lyrics. They're in love with lyrics that glorify doing wrong. There is a way of life that looks harmless. It looks harmless to brag on the hood life. That's influencing a lot of young men to do wrong. A lot of young men have been brainwashed by those lyrics. So bragging on the hood life don't help nobody, no matter how much money you get. There is a way of life that looks harmless. Look again, it leads straight to hell. Surely people appear to be having a good time. People seem like they're having a good time. Bragging on the hood life, bragging on the hood life in hip hop, it leads to heartbreak. A lot of people do not want to hear the truth of Jesus Christ about those lyrics because the devil is deceiving. He's deceiving the listener. I can't have this conversation with people who are in love. People are in love with lyrics that are glorified doing wrong. They A lot of people are in love with these lyrics. That's why they take up for these rappers because they in love with it. People are in love with violent lyrics. The devil is deceiving the people who are listening to those lyrics that are glorifying the hood life, that's glorifying doing wrong. That's what hip hop is known for. That's what hip hop is all about today. And people supposed to just settle for it. We're supposed to just settle for how you glorify doing wrong and say music gonna be music. It ain't got nothing to do with no music. It ain't no music. It ain't about no music. It's about the lyrical content. That ain't helping the hood. How is that helping the hood? You glorifying what's going on in the hood, glorifying the criminal activity. That ain't helping nothing. But a lot of young men and women are being deceived. The devil is deceiving people through those lyrics, glorifying. It seems like the more you cuss on your digital album, the more it's gonna sell. The more you glorify the hood life, young men and women are being deceived through those lyrics. Young men and women are being deceived through those lyrics every day. The devil is deceiving young men and women through the lyrics. They're being deceived. So glorifying the hood life in hip hop, it leads to heartbreak. There is a way of life that looks harmless. It looks harmless, but it leads to heartbreak. It's heartbreaking. That's all they rap about in hip hop. Glorifying the hood, glorifying doing wrong. So bragging on the hood life, bragging on that hood life, bragging on that hood life in hip hop, it leads to heartbreak. Bragging on the hood life in hip hop, it leads to heartbreak. Bragging on the hood life in hip hop, it leads to heartbreak. Yep, it leads to heartbreak. So yeah, that hood life, that's how you hear in hip hop. They're bragging on their hood life. And a lot of the kids in high school and middle school are buying right into it. It ain't about no entertainment, it ain't about no music. That life is not that life, And that's not helping nobody on the street. How is that helping someone on the street when you glorifying what's going on in the neighborhood? They glorifying doing wrong. So bragging on the hood life in hip hop, it leads to heartbreak. A lot of young men and women are being deceived. Revelation 12:9. The devil is deceiving young men and women through violent hip hop lyrics. I cannot share this with everybody because everybody ain't open. So many young men and women are being deceived through those lyrics. There is a way of life that looks harmless. It looks harmless. Look again. It leads straight to hell. Surely people appear to be having a good time. All the laughter will end in heartbreak. The rapper that's bragging on the hood life, he not telling you about the other side of it. He not telling you about when you go to jail, when you go to prison and you get locked up. He ain't telling you about that because all he care about is his money. The rapper ain't telling you that. The rapper not telling you that right there. He ain't gonna tell you that. He ain't gonna tell you the other side of the hood life where the police coming to get you, where you're getting locked up. He too busy in the booth. He too busy in the booth lying to you and you listening to it. And then people want to know why rappers and hip hop are getting taken out. Look at what they rapping about. And the people that's listening to it is being deceived. But the rapper ain't gonna tell you the other side of it. He ain't gonna tell you the other side of the hood life. He not gonna tell you that part. He just gonna glorify it like it's cool. He ain't gonna tell you about when you go to jail. He ain't gonna tell you about dying. He ain't gonna tell you about none of that. He too busy glorifying being a goon, being rough. And he got young men are gassed up off those lyrics. They go out and try to repeat that and end up locked up. The rapper ain't gonna tell you about the other side of the hood life. He gonna glorify it. Tell you all this stuff in the booth he rapping. Okay? He ain't gonna tell you about the other side of that. The hood life ain't cool. The street life ain't cool. So many young men and women in high school, middle school, think that stuff is cool. They real rough in the booth, but when you catch them on the street, they got a whole bunch of guards. Anybody can say a whole bunch of stuff. What they saying in there. It's easy to write lyrics that are cussing. Anybody, a dog can do that. But bragging on the hood life in hip hop, it leads to heartbreak. It looks like it's right. Said these people appear to be having a good time. They appear to be having a good time in hip hop as they glorify doing wrong. It looks like, it looks harmless, but look again, it leads straight to hell. They appear to be having a good time glorifying the street life, glorifying doing wrong. It ain't about no entertainment. No, it ain't about that. The street life ain't nothing to play with. That's why so many of these rappers are being taken out. And the young man that's listening to it, he's being deceived. She's being deceived. That's why people take up for these rappers, because they in love. People are in love with violent lyrics. People are in love with violence. They're being deceived from the truth of God. The hood life ain't nothing like what they rapping about. They in the studio booth trying to get money in their pockets, telling the whole world that they live in a criminal life. They're not living that way, but you believe in it. So bragging on that hood life in hip hop, it leads to heartbreak. Bye-bye.